Hi, my name is Faith Rawley. I am a fitness instructor and personal trainer here at the Kroc. I'm going to be leading you through a core workout today. So all you really need is a mat or just something comfortable to be on the ground. You do have the option of using a weight. You'll only need one, and it can be medium or light or even heavy. We'll only need it for one of our movements today. We're going to start laying down on the mat to begin with to get a little bit of our abs working. So lay all the way down. Bring your hands out to the side and roll the shoulders to the ground. And then we're going to bring our knees up over hips. What we want to do is keep a 90-degree angle in the knees, so they're over the hips, and the shins are parallel to the ground. And then from here, we're going to just do a single toe tap to the floor, keeping those abs working. All right, here we go. So you really want to think about bringing the knees back up directly over hips each time. Think about pulling the belly button in and pressing the lower back to the ground. We've got 4 more on each leg. Keep that toe tap really light. And feel the lower abs control the movement. Last 2. And 1 more in each leg. All right, good. Hug the knees in, grab the back of the legs, and let's come up. We're going to come into more of a tabletop position on this next one. So this is going to be great for your balance as well as your core and the back of the body. We're going to set up with our hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And then we're going to work into an opposite arm and leg extension. If you feel like the balance is too much on this one, you can just work through the legs or you can just work through the arms, okay? And then we're going to do a hold at the end. So I've got my timer ready. All right, here we go. We're going to work the same side. So a really big, long extension. Try to keep that spine long. If you feel the back arching, just pull that belly button up and maybe just don't raise the leg as far. Okay, 2 more. Last one. Now we're going to do a 10-second hold. Okay, are you ready? All right, let's go. And release. Good work. Let's do the same on the other side. So just give a little shake out for the wrists if you need to. And then we'll do the same. Opposite arm and leg again. 10 reps. 1, 2, 3, 'Pick a focal point on the floor. That's going to help with the balance. Got 4 more reps. All right, last rep. And then we're going to come into our hold. Here we go, 10 seconds, go. Keep it nice and lengthened, lengthen through the arm and the leg, holding it as still as you can, and lower back down. Good. Give yourself a little stretch if you need it. All right, next up, we're going to work into the side of our body, so our obliques. We're going to do some Russian twists. This is where you can grab that weight if you want to. Your options are to either have the feet in close and the knees in just lined up with the feet, or you can take the feet out a little bit, and then your other option is to lean back or stay seated a little bit higher. And what we're going to do is we're going to come side to side, bringing that weight from one direction to the other, okay? All right, let's go. And if you want to put the heels down, that just adds a little bit more balance element, but you can keep the toes pointing down too if you want. Really aim to bring that weight all the way to the side, and you can play around with the range or the legs. We are halfway. Getting that big rotation for the body. All right, 2 more. And last one. Good work. All right, set the weight down. All right, we're gonna keep working the side of the body. So this time what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up with your elbow directly under your shoulder. You wanna have one knee bent and one leg extended. And you do have the option of having a towel underneath the hip if you need that. You can even keep that hand in front here, or you can extend up, and we're gonna lift the hips. We're gonna add a little hold in on this one as well. So we're gonna lift up 10 times. Lift and lower. So we're really pressing the hips up and away from the ground. Keep pressing out of the elbow to stabilize the shoulder. 2 more. Last one. All right, we're gonna do a 10-second hold again. So bring it up, hold in place, pressing out from the ground, really stabilizing through the side of the body. Almost there. And lower it down. Good. All right, let's do the same on the other side. Roll it over. Again, set up with the elbow directly underneath the shoulder, having that knee bent and the one leg extended, bringing that arm up, and then we're going to press away from the ground. So lift and lower. Really feel yourself pushing the hips away from the ground to work the obliques. We got 3 more. 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to do our 10-second hold again. So when you're ready, bring it up, hold it nice and tight, pushing out of that arm, keeping that control, and lower it back down. Good work. All right, next up, we're going to come back to our laying position. We're going to do similar to what we did in our first movement, but this time instead of a single leg toe tap, we're going to do both legs together. So we're going to start with our knees back up over the hips, shoulders are rolled down with the hands wide, really pull the belly button in, and then we're going to lower the toes to the ground and back up. Okay, 10 reps on here. So again, think about not overarching the back. Keep pulling it to the ground, keeping the belly pulled in. 4 more. Last 2. 1 more. And done. Good. All right, bring it in. You're going to set your feet down on this next one. And we're going to work into our upper abs this time. So we're going to do a little crunch. We're going to reach our hands forward, and then we're just going to very slightly lift the shoulders off the ground and then lower back down. When you do that, really imprint the spine onto the mat and feel yourself pull into the core. All right, here we go. Lift and lower. Make sure you tuck the chin. So all that movement comes from scooping through the middle instead of just straining the neck. We've got 4 more here. Last 2. Keep lifting. 1 more big scoop. And done. All right, good work. All right, we're going to lay down one final time. So we've got some options on this next one. Still working the abs. Bring those hands wide. You can start with the knees up over the hips. And we're going to do some scissors. So your option is to just scissor the legs from here, or if you want, we're going to straighten out the legs and we're going to crisscross the legs up on that diagonal. Okay? All right, here we go. Keep straightening out the legs. Or if you need to bend back into that knee bend, that's fine. Pulling the belly button in. pointing through the toes. Almost there, just a little bit longer. And count down 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent work. All right. From here, we're going to roll onto the front of the body and we're going to finish out with some work for our back. So you can lay down on your mat, face down. We're going to work with our opposite arm and leg again, like we did in our tabletop, but this time we're going to do it from the ground. So we're going to lift one arm and leg straight up to work through the upper back and then into your glutes and the lower back. So let's take it up. Reach. And then alternate the side this time. We're going to focus on keeping our eye gaze down so that we're not straining the neck. You want to really think about lifting that leg straight up to squeeze the glutes. And then lifting that arm and pulling the shoulder blade down towards the middle of the back. All right, let's do 2 more on each side. And last one, really lift and lift. Good. Okay, final movement for today is going to be a full back extension, but you do have an option to keep the fingertips down and then push out of the ground with the hands down, or we're going to keep the hands lifted and then lift the chest off the ground. All right, we're going to do 10 reps here. So when you're ready, lift and lower. This time the feet are staying down. We're squeezing through the glutes and we're really working into the back of the body, especially the lower back. All right, you've got 5 more. And last 3, lift. And 1 more. Excellent work. All right, sit back into a child's pose to give yourself a big stretch. And that is your core workout done. I hope that you will try this again with us a few times this week, or just take the video and do it a couple times over to get some more reps in there. Enjoy.